Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Marcus. I was asked some questions, and I want to take some time real quick to see if I can answer those questions so that you can make a good decision about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. I made some notes, so I'm going to glance down a couple of times just to make sure that I'm staying on topic, because I want to respect your time and I want to make sure that I'm presenting the information that you need so that you can make the decisions that you need to make. Before I start, I want to say that everything that I express here is my own personal opinion and does not constitute financial advice. That being said, let's get into it. So I was asked the question of what is, we're speaking specifically about Bitcoin, but this I'll stray a bit into the larger context of cryptocurrency, so bear with me. I was asked, what is Bitcoin, how do you get it, and how do you use it, and why now versus later? Why should you get involved now versus getting involved later? So first, what is it? How do you get it? And how do you use it? Well, what it is, it's a digital asset that's borderless and secure. It democratizes trust. It is tamper resistant, and it cannot be controlled or seized by a government or a bank. And it in all likelihood, it will appreciate rather than depreciate over time. It's different than money in that it's not issued by a government, but it's also not controlled by said government. And as an example, your money sitting in your savings account or whatever account you have that's money at rest can be devalued and is devalued over time because the federal government, and it doesn't matter which federal government we're talking about, prints more money every year. And as it prints more money, there's more in circulation. That means the supply goes up. And then the demand either stays steady or it goes down. And when the supply goes up and the demand goes down, that means each item, each unit is less valuable than it was before. So if you have $10,000 sitting in a savings account and the government just prints more money, then your $10,000 is no longer worth $10,000. It's worth less than that. So any fiat currency that's at rest is at risk of being devalued, and you don't have anything that you can do about that because the government is going to do what the government is going to do as it relates to the supply of money. Cryptocurrencies don't work that way. They're all finite. So there's a limited quantity, and that quantity is fixed from the inception of the coin, and it only goes down. The available supply only goes down over time. And as the demand rises and the supply goes down, then that makes those coins more valuable over time versus less valuable. So that's one of the unique features of cryptocurrency and how it's different than fiat. How do you get it? Getting it is easy. There are lots of exchanges that are out there. I'm going to talk about one in particular because it's probably the simplest to use at the outset. It's called Coinbase. I'll put a link in the description of the video so that you can go in, check out Coinbase and set up your account. It doesn't cost anything to set up the account. And if you use my link, then when you buy $100 worth of cryptocurrency in either Ethereum, Litecoin, or Bitcoin, then you get an additional $10, and so do I. So as an added benefit for getting started with Coinbase. And then how do you use it? So you can use it in a couple of different ways. I will tell you how I'm using mine, and then you can make the decision of how you want to use yours. You can hold it and let it increase in value before you do anything with it, which is what I'm going to do with mine. And then when it comes time to use it, I intend to use it in its form, in the form of Bitcoin or Litecoin or Ethereum, instead of changing it over to fiat currency. And I'll get into why that is in later videos. But just know that I am accumulating cryptocurrency and I intend to use it in its form rather than transfer it over to fiat currency. If you wanted to transfer it into fiat currency, however, go back to the same exchange that you purchased it on and you can exchange it for fiat currency, and it's very simple to do that. If you have any further questions about that, get with me on after you've gotten your wallet set up, and I'll walk you through some of those steps. And the final question is why now versus later? Well, I can't tell you what to do with your money and your resources, but I will tell you why I'm involved now versus later. Our systems are fundamentally changing. Hierarchies are changing, our governments are changing, and they're changing in that they are failing. our hierarchies and our bureaucracies are failing the people that they intend to represent or say that they represent. There's too much power concentrated at the top. There's too much control concentrated at the top, and the people that are supposedly represented by the organization they're being left behind. Well, as I said, with the cryptocurrencies themselves, they democratize trust and they flatten the organization of which they are a part. So it makes it so that the bureaucracy and the hierarchy is no longer needed. And because our bureaucracies and our hierarchies are failing, we have to do something. Well, we don't have to do something, but I chose to do something to get ahead of the trend versus to lag behind it. And the norm moving forward is that the value creators will be compensated for the value that they create. And in my estimation, there are three kinds of value that's going to be created in this new system. There's the value of adoption, there's the value of application, and there's the value of innovation. Those who help the adoption of cryptocurrency, and at this time, there's over $220 billion in cryptocurrency. So it does not seem that there's no reason to believe that cryptocurrencies are just going to go away at any point in the future. So $220 billion is not a small amount of money, but it's small potatoes based on compared to what it's going to be. Once it gets into the trillions, 20 trillion, $100 trillion, then that'll be even more significant than it is today. Those who drive adoption will be compensated in one way. Those who drive the application of the cryptocurrencies, and that if there's a coin that's designed to do something, and you help it do that something, you will be compensated for that benefit that you bring to the network. And then innovation. As we understand how the distributed ledger technology works and what it's useful for, and how we can do different things, the things that we do today, how we can do those with those cryptocurrencies, those people will be compensated as well. So I have chosen to learn about and invest in and drive the adoption and the application, if not also the innovation of cryptocurrencies. And I hope to be compensated, or I will be compensated for that work that I'm doing. So that's why I say now versus later, because as it goes, the opportunity will get smaller. I don't think it'll ever go away, just like the opportunity to get involved with and benefit from driving the internet forward today still exists. But if you compare the opportunity with the internet today versus the opportunity with the internet in the early 90s, obviously it would have been more beneficial for you to be involved with driving the adoption and the application of the internet in the early 90s than it is today. So hopefully that gives you some insight as to what I'm doing with cryptocurrencies and why I think they're important. I'm sure that I've created more questions than I've answered, and that's the way of it. That is part of the challenge and part of the excitement about this cryptocurrency space, because honestly, the more I learn, the more I realize that I don't know, and the more I want to learn. And that's a cycle that continues. I learn more, then I want to learn more, and then I learn more, then I want to learn more. And I think that after 6 months of intense study and exploration in this space, I'm better off now than I was before, and I'm more in a position to put my family on a secure financial footing than I was before. And I hope to help shepherd some other folks through that process so that their families can be better off as well. So hopefully this answers some questions for you. I'm going to share this video, and feel free to share it with others if you like, and reach out to me if you have any questions. I'll put my contact information in the description of the video. All right. Thank you very much for listening. Talk to you soon.